All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. We are live with the Provoke Coach podcast. I appreciate everybody showing up today. It's been pretty crazy down here in South Florida. So if we lose power and things go south, I apologize. Things are out of my control. But today I have somebody very special with me, somebody I've been following for quite some time. And it's so awesome to have a fellow coach on the Provoke Coach podcast because we can kind of geek out in helping people and sharing stories. So I have here Tracie Randolph. Thank you so much for showing up.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. And thank you for your
Now,
patience. Life is happening
no,
today.
hey, listen, the last 24 hours with this storm has been so crazy that like nothing is phasing me today.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, the roof's leaking. Awesome. Yeah, we're underwater. Great.
Yeah.
It's and I've been working throughout the entire time, so it's not like I could have the Bloody Marys and just chill and
Yeah.
and hope for the best. Well,
Yeah. Well, it's great that you still have internet service too. So
hey, right now I do.
right.
That's a blessing. That's a blessing today. Well, cool. Well, look, I know that a lot of people, refer to you as the reset coach.
Yes.
And I know that, it's interesting for me because I'm like the AKA provoke coach, so it's interesting having a different persona, if you will, or a different hat that you wear in the world of coaching.
Yeah.
I know you, and maybe some of the people that are listening know who you are, but there's going to be a lot of people that don't.
Okay.
So can you fill us in on like present day? What are you doing? Who are you? And let's just hear it from the horse's mouth.
Yeah. I mean, who am I? I'm going to start with that. I am, an ex-corporate executive who, decided at, half midterm of my life, because I always say I'm going to live until 100. So I decided that, the second half of my life had to be about heart work. So I left my corporate job back in 2021. I was coaching part-time prior to that. But I just decided that I wanted to do it full time. I wanted to, make an impact on this world. I wanted to help women in particular, not that I won't help men, because we love the men out there too, but women in particular to just learn how to live healthy lifestyles, particularly those women who was like me, who are still like I was working, trying to balance, home life and work life and not really taking care of their health and wellness. So I just have a real passion for that because, when I was in corporate, I ended up getting breast cancer, and I attribute that to, just the lack of, doing what I needed to do to make sure I was well.
Well, and I guess let's talk about that, for a second, because I also was in corporate America and even in the fitness industry of all things, but didn't always take care of myself, because you get caught up, right? You get caught up in the extended lunches, and you got to go here and eat all this wonderful food, maybe have too many drinks, maybe drink too much coffee. The stress and anxiety were super high, and it takes a toll. What made you kind of decide to snap your health into shape?
Well, I mean, I got hit over the head, really, right? Like breast cancer is what really did it for me. I was always thin. So I used to equate thin to healthy. And we know, I mean, you've been in the fitness industry, so you know that that's not true, because what's happening on the inside is what really matters. So I wasn't healthy. I wasn't eating properly. I grew up, my family was from the south of the United States, where we cook with a lot of butter and sugar. And even though I grew up in New Jersey, that's what we did growing up. So I ate a lot of the wrong things. I wasn't exercising the way I should. And then I had a really demanding job, so high stress levels. And then I became a mom, and, everything started to pile on top of each other. You know how it goes. And, in that corporate life, doing the same thing that you mentioned, going out and, client meetings, and you're eating all this good food there as well, and not moving a lot. So, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess for you right now, like, I know you got a lot going on. I mean, you have your coaching practice. I mean, you've written books that are, bestsellers. I know you have your podcast as well, and you have clients. Kind of talk to us, I guess, about what's happening right now in your world.
Sure. So coaching women. And I've been doing that for a while. Since 2016, 17, I started off with a nonprofit organization and have been coaching women ever since. So that's part of it, doing some virtual fitness, I have a plan, a 90-day plan where you get a meal plan, a fitness plan, you get
Yep.
coaching, and you get the access to the virtual fitness classes as well to be able
Yep.
to do that and kind of bring it all in.
Yep.
And with some mindset coaching that goes with that also, because if you don't change up here, you can't change anything that's happening with your body.
Isn't that
So
just, yeah.
that's, yeah. I mean, very well.
Mhm. Absolutely. Well, and I guess talk to us about the reset part, because I know that's a huge part of not just your niche, not just your saying, but you
Mhm.
really truly believe in this. What is it about resetting, and what do you mean by that?
Well, one is because, living healthy is a lifetime journey, right? So
Mhm.
it's not just, even though I have a 90-day program, it's just not just a 90-day thing, right? It's not just a year thing. It's something that you need to continue to do throughout the course of your life. So when I started coaching in the nonprofit organization, it's called Women Empowered International, it became my mantra, because as I was coaching people and they would talk about the mistakes and they're ready to beat themselves up over the mistakes that they've made or things that they felt like they shouldn't do, I kept telling them it's okay to reset. Tomorrow's another day,
Yeah.
or today is another day, right? Just reset today and don't worry about what happened yesterday, because today's the opportunity for you to continue to live healthy. So it just became my mantra. And then as I started getting into the business of coaching
Right.
versus just being an individual coach, I said, you know what, this is me. It's my mantra. I'm the reset coach. So,
That's awesome. And do
yeah.
you really kind of, I'm assuming, you've kind of taken it to the next level with that reset part.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I guess let's give some examples of that,
Yeah.
both mentally and physically. How do people how do they get a reset?
Yeah.
Because, you look at your phone, this thing slows down from time to time.
Hmm.
And sometimes you got to turn it off, let it sit and cool down for a minute,
That's right.
and then fire it back up, and then
That's right.
all of a sudden it works great,
Yeah.
and you're moving on. Is that
Yeah.
like your body? Is that like your brain? How does that? Talk
Yeah,
to me a little bit about that.
absolutely. I mean, the body needs a reset. And, if you look at what you need to do from day to day, you just take a day and at night, right? You need to go to sleep, which is a
Mhm.
reset for your body.
Yeah.
And many people don't know that that's what your body's doing as you sleep. It's restoring itself. So
Mhm.
if you're getting enough sleep, that's what you're doing. You're giving yourself a reset. And with that, when it comes to the mindset, I always tell women, you just like you were talking about, you got to like turn this thing off. You got to turn yourself, you have to unplug,
Yeah.
right? And kind of turn yourself off to be able to reset your way of thinking, to be able to reset all of your habits. So your life is a full reset when you think about it, even in business, right? Like even in business, you have to reset your mindset to go from being an employee to an entrepreneur, or to be able to go to that next level when it comes to business. So it's the same way with your physical health as well. You have to be able to kind of shut some things down in order to, get ready for the new, so to speak, and the change.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I guess, when you're talking about resetting, the mind a
Hmm.
little bit,
Yeah.
because like you said at the beginning of this conversation, if you don't fix this, there's no way that you can fix the rest of your body. I mean, you could
Hmm.
try, but you're just not going to get that good result.
Yeah.
What is it about the mindset part that needs to be reset? Are there
Mm.
false beliefs that people have that they need to just get rid of and move? How does that work?
I would say, what I teach and what I usually coach is, stay anchored to your why, basically. And I know you've probably heard a lot of people say that, but it really is the case. So I got knocked over the head, as I told you earlier, right? Like I had breast cancer and I had to change my life. But then I had to think about, okay, I don't want this again. And I was saying to myself, this is not going to happen again,
Yeah.
right? And I said to myself, I'm a mom and I need to be there for my son. So
Yeah.
whatever that why, and those were my two whys, right? But whatever that why is for, a particular person, if you can stay anchored to your why, and I don't care if you have
Mm.
to put it in front of you, if it's a picture, if it's a saying, something, but you have to stay anchored to your why in order to be able to reset everything else, and your mind first and then the rest.
Now, is that what you talk about in your book, or is your book about other topics?
My book is, well, I've been in 4 anthologies
Oh, wow.
so far. Yeah, yeah. Next time is going to be a book, I guess, of my own. But been in
Yeah.
4 anthologies, and I'm really going through my journey. and how I reset, really, how and why I needed to reset. And then one of the books I talk about a spiritual experience that happened to me before I found out I had breast cancer. So profound. What happened to me, because it was God telling me, I've got you. He was preparing me for the breast cancer before it happened. So I talk about that in one of the books.
Wow. Wow. That's awesome. So you have four. So then you have four books
Yes.
that are out.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. I thought it was just one. Check you out. Yeah, that's fantastic. Now, what do you see going on, I guess, in the future of your world? I know that you do some speaking events. I've seen throughout your social media, you've done, some events throughout the year.
Yeah.
Is it more, or are you going to be working on some other projects and some different things coming up in the future?
Yeah, so there's definitely more speaking events. I get excited going to
Yeah.
speaking events. One, just to be able to connect with people,
Yep.
and two, just being on the excitement of just being on stage and being able to share with everybody. So there's more of that coming up.
Yeah.
I also I moved from New Jersey to Charlotte back in May of 21. So now looking to do some live fitness here in Charlotte, as
Nice.
I am meeting some really beautiful people here. So looking
Yeah.
to do that as well. And then, the ultimate goal is to go into corporate wellness, because, I told you that was my start. And that's
Yeah.
where I know a lot of people need help,
Yes.
because, they're just not doing what they need to do to focus on their wellness as they're managing life.
Well, and I think for the employees and for the company itself, not just the leadership, right? It's easy to, okay, so the executives, they got to quit eating so much garbage,
Yeah.
quit going out and spending the company's money on junk food, right?
Yeah.
It really needs to be for the employees, I think, more than anything. And a lot of
Absolutely.
mental health things, especially with everything, well, a lot of things being virtual now.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's some challenges right there, because it's really easy just to kind of sit around.
Hmm. Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
So where did all this come from? I mean, clearly I know you had, this provoking moment. You had
Mhm.
this, this fork in the road, if you will. I mean, you got
Mhm.
breast cancer. Clearly you've been able to overcome that. You've
Mhm.
changed your entire life based around that. But I guess let's talk about the past a little bit.
Yeah.
Where did you grow up? Where did you come from? Where did you gain some of these skills?
Yeah. Well, I grew up in New Jersey, born and
Mhm.
raised in New Jersey. But as I mentioned earlier, my family is originally from South Carolina. So,
Mhm.
some of the habits that I had growing up was just based on, how my family was used to living. And
Yep.
again, cooking with, the butters and the sugars and the fats and
Yeah.
all of those things that make your food taste really good, but are not good for you, particularly inside. So that's who I was prior to having breast cancer. And really, the breast cancer just really was that pivotal moment for me, to be
Yeah.
perfectly honest. I always worked out, but not avidly, not consistently, right?
Right.
And I always, I wasn't a drinker, wasn't a smoker. Even when I got breast cancer, I'm like, how did this happen? I'm not really doing that much. But where it really made a difference is because when I found out I had breast cancer, I started researching holistic health and nutrition and what it can do for the body, and exercise and
Mhm.
what it can do for the body, and how you can change your physical state by what you think.
Right.
So because of that, that's really where it came in. It wasn't any time before that. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I
Yeah.
played a little bit of sports growing up, not avidly there either. So it
Mhm.
wasn't, and I was always a person who wanted to work and work hard. And that was the mentality that I grew up with, because I was raised under the premise of, you got to go to school and you go to work, and you know how that goes, right? So there were so many things that led up to that breast cancer, and that was it. But it really was the thing that really changed my heart and my mind.
Yeah. And you went to work with researching and
Mhm.
really finding out the answers.
Yeah.
Why is it that people wait that long to seek education on important things like that? I
Yeah.
mean, you
Just
could you could have avoided it 20 years ago if you would have
yeah.
changed your lifestyle.
Yeah. It's
Like, why do people wait, you think, Tracie?
well, one is, it's just people are kind of on that programming of, what I just mentioned, right? Go to school, go to work, and there's no real focus on educate yourself on how to live well. It's more educate yourself on how to get this skill set so that you can get this job,
Yeah.
right? So that's really why it's just the programming and the conditioning that happens. And over time, people just don't think about it because they feel like if I don't have any pain or I don't have any fever or, something that's tangible for them, I'm fine, even though something else could be going on the inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you're right about the programming. We get taught this way of life growing up
Yeah.
that here's what you need to get. You
Mhm.
need to get, the college degree. You need to then after that get a great paying job,
Mhm.
find a significant other, marry them, have kids, white picket fence,
Yeah.
drive a nice vehicle, and then teach them to play baseball or something growing
Yeah.
up. Like it was just this thought. And when you reach it, especially high performers, which I know
Mhm.
you're a super high performer, like you said, your parents and your family and everybody brought you up to hard work, get the job done. That's what you're conditioned to do. But
Yeah.
that's also why you excelled in corporate America as well. And you moved so fast,
Yeah.
right, throughout
Yeah.
that process. Now, things that are important, like holistic living, and really, like you said, something that was interesting, what you think you become and your thoughts and your brain, and really people don't know this, your emotions, your brain activity will have
Mhm.
a severe impact on your physical body. Can we talk about that for a little bit? Because
Yeah.
you've done a lot of research on that.
Yeah. I mean, when you think about because you mentioned emotions, right? And then the physical part of that, a lot of your emotions get stuck in I love him. That's my bro right there, Christopher
Yeah.
Rausch.
Yeah. Yep. He was on a
Thank
couple
you,
weeks
bro.
ago, Chris.
Thank you,
He's
bro.
awesome.
But a lot of that gets stuck, in your body. So people don't realize that there's a serious connection between your emotions, what you think, what you feel, and then what gets stuck inside your body in terms of like the physical aspects. It's all connected. I mean, if you look at some of the research, we have a heart brain, a gut brain, and a brain, right? So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
all of it is connected, and it all works together to affect our body. So that's really the truth of the matter. Look, yep, truth, Chris.
Yeah. Yeah. And it really is, and I guess so. Let's talk about like what people want out there.
Mhm.
Everybody knows they need to be healthy.
Mhm.
But what they want to do physically is they want to look good,
Mhm.
right? So there's some appearance things that everybody's like, yeah, okay, sure, Tracie, sure, Clinton, yeah, be healthy. Nobody really cares about that, or they do, but they don't. What about appearance wise?
Mhm.
Let's say, somebody's gaining weight. Why do they gain weight? Why does this create the belly?
Mm. Well, it could be a number of things, right? There's no one answer for
No.
that, but just if we go back to say living that corporate lifestyle and the
Yeah.
stress, right? And then the stress triggers the stress hormone, which is cortisol, and then
So,
cortisol triggers, the weight gain. So if you use that as an example, that's one of them. It could be that they're dealing with some type of past trauma, right? Because people don't even think about the things that they've
right.
gone through in life or even a current trauma, and now they're just overeating to kind of over medicate, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
What's happening in their life. So there could be a number of reasons why people actually gain weight, but those are
But
some
those
of
are
the
the big
bigger
ones.
ones.
Yeah, those are the huge ones. And
Yeah.
stress relief, I mean, remember what we know about stress, right? Like it's, okay, so you're not exercising, yet you're stressed and you're out of shape.
Hmm.
Okay, well, guess what? If you exercise,
Hmm.
what's going to happen?
You reduce
Eventually,
that stress.
stress cortisol goes down, all your
Yeah,
stress hormones go down, all the good hormones, because there's the other side of it, right?
that's
Like, let's
right.
talk about that for a second,
Hmm.
Tracie, because you have serotonin, you have
Hmm.
dopamine,
Dopamine.
right?
Yeah.
And you have these wonderful chemicals that make you feel good. Talk about those for a second. How does that start changing the chemistry in the body?
Yeah, well, some of that is part of the mindset teaching too, to help bring up those good hormones so that you can get the good effects. And when you get the good hormones in you, right, that your metabolism increases. So then you're able to burn calories more and reduce the fat. But it's doing some of the things that you really love, like stopping and taking the time to enjoy, some of the simple things in life that make you happy, that'll make you laugh, that, will make you, go outside and breathe some fresh air and get some sunshine, right? All of that makes a difference. And if you can bring up those serotonin levels and those dopamine levels with that type of activity, if you stop to do those things that make you happy, then those are going to increase and you're going to get the results that you want based on some of those things that you're doing that you love.
Isn't that something how this all works? And
Yeah.
people, let me ask you this question. I've asked a couple coaches this question. Why is it so difficult for people to reach out for the mental health part versus the physical? Because the physical, it's easy to say, yeah, I got to lose a couple of pounds. People admit that very easily.
Yeah.
But they don't say, hey, upstairs, I got a couple of screws loose. Like I need to figure all this out.
Yeah.
Why don't people, and I mean, I guess this is an opinion, but why, I guess, don't people reach out for mental health reasons?
I think it's more programming. I think it's more of that conditioning that says, society says like it's frowned upon because if you go to a therapist or a counselor or a coach, you crazy, quote unquote crazy. So because of that conditioning, people don't want to be viewed as the crazy person, so they don't want to do the therapy. I think it is changing though.
Yes.
And I think the pandemic has done a lot for us from that aspect, right? Because people were having a really hard time dealing with the pandemic and started to see, more coaches and counselors and therapists. I still think we have a ways to go, but I think it's just conditioning.
Yeah, I think so as well. I mean, I think that, Chris is saying ego at the same time, especially for men. I mean, Chris knows, we work with a lot of men and it's like pulling teeth just to get them to open up in that regards. Whereas the female population, they're more open to getting help, and I think with mental health, they really are. But then on the flip side, physical health is sometimes something that they shy away and they're very quiet about in a lot of cases and sensitive about, whereas guys are like, yeah, I'm fat, I need to lose weight. And they think it's funny, right? It's a total mask anyways. They really feel horrible about it. Wow. I mean, we could go down tons of rabbit holes with that. But I guess, for you with your philosophy and what is, so what can somebody expect? They hire you. Clearly you're working with a lot of ladies right now. And they're, you're definitely gravitating towards that population, but even anybody, what can they expect working with you in this 90 days? Like, what are some of the things, I guess, that make you stand aside and reset the process?
I would say understand that you're going to go on a journey with me, first of all. And it's I'm just coming from a place of, just love in my heart, just because I love what I'm doing. So that's the first part of it. But expect to go on a journey, expect to explore, your life really, because you can't really make the changes if you can't explore, kind of where you've been, where you are at the present time and where you want to go. So there's going to be an exploration there. And we're going to take a journey for 90 days or potentially more, depending on, what that person needs. So I think that's the bigger part of it. I think expect the unexpected when you come in, because we're going to tap into some things that you probably didn't even think you needed, when you get into the coaching program, because it's not really just about, people know that they're supposed to drink more water, eat whole foods, exercise, get sleep, people know that part already. But the reason why they're not implementing is what you got to get down to. So we're going to get down and dirty with it and I'm going to love you through it. And I would say, expect no judgment, right? Because it's a judgment-free zone here. And you don't have to spend long hours in the gym. You don't have to deprive yourself of food to be able to be well and healthy. So those are the expectations there. If somebody comes and works with me.
Yeah, and that's so great that you said that, is that you're gonna love them throughout the process, and that's important because sometimes people look at coaching or even consulting or even personal training as this, drill sergeant gonna, knocking food out of your hands, you know what I mean, like this micromanaging. And look, it can be direct. I mean, I think that as well as I do. But I think you said it right on the head, I think, or hit the nail on the head there's so much information out there. I mean, anybody can pick up their phone and they can have all the answers that they want to about what to eat, how to eat it, which program. I mean, there's just so much out there.
Yeah.
What, I guess, is your opinion or advice to somebody that they don't know where to even start and they don't even know how to look this up or where, because of all the noise, because, they're going to get nailed with ads when they just start Googling things.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to speak for us who are out there who are coaches. Engage a coach, right? It's so much easier. I mean, I have coaches for different reasons, right? I take care of my health, but there's other things that I need assistance with, and I have coaches for that. So engage a coach, somebody who can help you kind of walk along this journey with you, help you get the right information, help you to, move things along, keep you accountable, support you through the process. Like, get a coach. It makes a big difference. And if you look at some of the most, who you deem some of the most successful people in life, they all have coaches, right? So get a coach first and foremost. That's my first piece of advice.
And I guess, when you say that, get a coach, engage with a coach. I like what you said there, because it doesn't mean that you have to just hire somebody just to hire somebody. And that's the last thing that we as coaches want somebody to do, is just do something that we said or what everybody else is doing mainstream, just to have it, just to say, yeah, well, I gotta, like, I used to love these people that would be like, yeah, I got a personal trainer, but they're not going to let me do that or this. And then I'm like, wait a minute. You're just kind of saying that to say that. That's like, I have a nanny, or I have somebody that cleans my home, or I, the pool guy, right? Like, you feel like it's some sort of an entitlement. We hate that as coaches. Like, I want somebody that's going to be serious about the results that they want, whatever that may be, whether it's in business, whether it's in their personal life, their physical life, mental. I mean, I want people that, want to actually change.
That's right.
And that's probably the most important. I would imagine it's like that for you as well.
Absolutely. Because you want people to get results. That's the reason why we're here. We want you to get results. We want you to have success, whatever that means for you, because it's different for everybody.
Yeah, 100%. Now, I guess, if somebody was, to really say, Tracie, okay, like, give me like 3 secrets, whether it's in, mental health, physical health, the holistic approach. I mean, if you could take a step back and give yourself advice, or give anybody that's listening advice right now, what would that be? What would those 3 key components be?
Yeah, I would say the first one is, enjoy the journey. And practice everything along the journey, and not focus so much on the destination that you can't, enjoy what's happening day to day, because it really is a day-to-day process. So that's the first piece of advice. Then I would say to people, celebrate the wins, no matter how big or small. Celebrate yourself for them, right? Because it's the thing that's going to motivate you to keep pushing. So celebrate yourself. I don't care if it's, I bought a new outfit, to, I went outside and took a walk, or I did a dance, but something, but celebrate yourself through that. And then just, I'm going to go back to the engage a coach, but engage a coach who has gotten the results that you want to see. You know what I mean? Like, I would say follow that person. Make sure that you understand that they understand what they're doing, and see if they are willing to share their journey, so that you can see like some of the results that they've gotten, some of the things that they're actually doing. And if that person resonates with you, then engage a coach, or move on to the next person and figure that out. But, I think it's really important to do that as well.
And it's amazing that you said that, because, look, I mean, being in the coaching world, it's easy for us to say, hire a coach. But what's even easier is, just like what you said, follow me around for a little bit. Watch my content, listen to my videos, stories, whatever. Listen to, me gabbing, because you're going to come full circle and you're going to be like, wow, this guy keeps talking about this, right? Like, Tracie keeps speaking about this reset. And that's authenticity, which I think is important. You're right. When somebody chooses to work with somebody, that's what I do. I stalk the hell out of you for months, because you don't want to make that impulsive decision of just hiring somebody to hire somebody when that's not really the answer.
Yeah.
Powerful advice.
Yeah.
That is so powerful. Wow. I wish we could chat all day long.
I know.
But we got to let everybody go. You and I are going to stay, a little bit backstage, but where can people find you? Where is the best place? Social media, Facebook, Instagram, your website. Where's the best place to connect?
Yeah, so I'm on all of the social media platforms. So Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Alignable, Web Talk, TikTok, and I'm Tracie Tracie Randolph on all those platforms. Or you can look me up by the Reset Coach too. It's there. And then my website is just theresetcoach.com. So you can reach out to me there as well.
Awesome. That's excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're going to have to do this again. We'll definitely have to get you on because we could geek out all day long about this. But that's awesome. Well, look, everybody, if you're listening now, hey, look, if you like this, pass it along, subscribe, hit that like button, share, go see what Tracie's all about. Get yourself a reset. I know she takes very good care of her clients. I've been following for quite some time. And as always, provoke positive change in you and your peak performance. We'll talk soon.